Psalms, the 106th chapter, and the 34th verse.
And if I may say this too,
yeah.
And that's why, you know, those brothers that are in that situation,
right.
they receive different type of treatment.
Yeah.
You know, like give you an example, like a lot of Italians and Sicilians and Irishmen, they were treated different. They was treated just as bad, and in some cases worse than Negroes.
Yeah,
and
some of them Irish were in slavery.
They were in slavery, and then they were being lynched too down south too.
Yeah,
a lot of, like in that book, Without Sanction, some of them are Italians
being lynched. Yeah.
So that's how that's another indicator that they're the same people.
Exactly.
And Esau knew that. He had the understanding that Israel was amongst all them other nations over there throughout Europe and so forth and so on.
Right.
But even amongst them, like you got the brother in Slovenia, he might be around a bunch of crackers or get around a certain group of crackers, and he's always the eyeball. He doesn't belong there. Or and they know something like, man, this guy's, you know, they might even say this guy acts like a fucking black guy. He might have a certain type of rhythm and coordination about himself that we know that Esau's not known for having.
That's right. Just like, you know, when you get around Jake, you have certain, because see, this is the deal, man. You guys out there that talk about this black shit, right? And you talk about this, you know, the Native American and whatever. You know, you never hit the other side of it, because even among Jake, you know, if you have, sometimes you have like he looked like a straight up Negro. You know, he got an afro and all that shit, but his spirit is totally off.
Yeah.
And you say, damn, man, you act like a fucking white motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
And they're right, because he is an Edomite.
And then you come find out,
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But you never touch on that. So them other nations, they're the same way. So you don't act like our people, man. You act like them, you know, them niggas, them spicks. You know, what's wrong with you, you know?
And that's why in certain, they are discriminated against, like, I think they call it untouchables or the undesirables over there in India. It's a group with a bunch of Negroes or whatever.
Well, I know they got them in Punjabi. They get it bad out there too.
Yeah, I forget the name of the particular. They got a name on them. And they're just like the in Vietnam, the so-called war babies.
Yep.
They're put in a city, most of them. And now they look just Vietnamese. If you went over there, you would think that they're straight up Vietnamese.
Right.
But them people over there know that, look, your daddy's a nigga.
Yep.
Your daddy is a Puerto Rican. That's why they discriminate against them. See, and you guys don't speak on that part, man, and that's what the Lord is talking about right here in the prophecies, man.
Yep. And you know what? When I first moved to Connecticut, you know, I seen that, you know, because there was this one Ephraimite dude that lived on my street, and he had a Vietnamese wife, and he had 2 Vietnamese daughters, and they looked like straight up Vietnamese, but they were Israelites, you know. But you look at them and say, oh, you know, especially guys like Zabak, you look at them and just dismiss them because of the way they look, you know. And some of them people, they don't know who their fathers were. If you ask them, they're gonna say, my father was a Vietnamese, or my father was a white guy from such and such. You know, you can't go based off of how a person looks. You have to go based off of the spirit. That's why the scriptures say that the spiritual man discerns spiritual things. Yeah. You know, but the carnal man is not going to discern spiritual things, because the scriptures and the word is spiritually discerned, and there's certain situations that you may be faced with that are spiritually discerned. That if you're not equipped through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to know these things, you're not going to be able to deal in that situation. So go ahead, brother.
Psalms 106.
106 and 34 and 35.
Okay. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 106, and I'm going to start at verse 34.
Yep, and 35.
It says, they did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them.
Right, so they kept those nations among them. What the fuck you think they're going to do with the women? Matter of fact, and the Lord tells you that if you go into a city and you give peace to that city, they don't give you no peace, you take them down. You destroy them. And what do you do with their women, the ones that didn't have no men? You take them, and what are you going to do with them? They're just going to be in the house? You're going to pop them women.
That's right.
You know, and what's going to happen when you pop a woman? When you see go in a woman, she's going to have children. And those children come out looking like her.
Yeah.
You guys out there, man, you're a fucking bunch of clowns, man. And look, the Most High is about to do something to you guys. And all of you fucking assholes out there. The Most High is going to move on all of you, man. Because you bringing division, but you know what? You're doing what you're supposed to do. You know, we get mad, you know, because we're sincerely teaching the word. But you guys are a bunch of demons. But you know what? You were set up to be demons by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to pull away those that the Most High don't want. And you simple-minded people out there that follow these clowns, they're good for you because that's your judgment, man.
And you right where you belong. All right? You right where you belong. Verse 35. Or verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom the Lord commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen.
But mingled among the heathen. And what do you think they did when they was among the heathen? Jake was popping those women.
Yeah. Hell, what you think they doing now?
Yeah.
Jake is, man, you got a lot of Jakes, man, they get them a white woman.
Yep.
You know, which this dumbass said that's the mark of the beast, which is bullshit.
Fucking Gehenna.
Right? But you got Jakes, they be popping them white and they be laying seed up in it. And sometimes the seed, it come out looking like Negroes. Sometimes the seeds look like straight up white boys.
Yeah, like that dude, that basketball dude, this brother was just telling me about him, the dude Griffin.
Oh, Blake Griffin.
Yeah. His father is a straight up
Negro.
Dark, super dark Levite. He's a Levite. He's a super, he's charcoal black. He had a bald head. You know, but if you look at his son looked like almost like a damn Edomite.
Yeah, red hair and all.
Yeah.
Red hair and all.
But he's an Israelite, and they be, you know, that dude from the brother was telling me that dude be making.
Oh man,
because I'm not really a basketball fan.
Nah,
but brother,
I put it to you this way: you ain't even got to be a basketball fan to know about the dude.
Yo, they said this dude be making motherfuckers look bad when he come in on hard on the paint.
Man, he hard in the paint. Like, you know, if you remember like Sean Kemp back in the days, they used to call him the Rain Man.
Oh
but,
shit.
You know, Sean Kemp was known, you know, and Dominique Wilkins and
Dominique
Jordan. They was known for doing them, making you look back. Well, this guy pretty much embodies what they was doing.
Right.
And he did some. I mean, he was hurting people.
And he looks like a white dude.
And and he's graceful too.
Yep.
When he's, you know, in other words, not like no crack. Yeah, crackers that dunk. You know, they dunk. They be all stiff and you know, but he's great.
And the only reason why they can dunk is because they're tall.
Right. You know? Yeah, the ones of
you
them
have
that
Jake like Spud Webb. There was another Jake, a short dude, recently now.
Yeah.
It's kind of short, 5'8".
Nate Robinson.
And they get up there, man. Bam. You know. But the reason why them white dudes could dunk because they might be 7'2".
8'9".
All they gotta do is put their hand up like this and you know, put the ball in the
exactly. Unless they're a Jake, because you got some like certain, you know, because you have other demons say, what about this guy, Rex Chapman, John?
Hey,
well, first of all, those are Jakes.
Yep.
Those are Jakes, Irish and Greek niggas.
Yep.
Okay, they look like white boys, and that's what
and some of them are products of the well, not some of them, all of them are products of the diaspora.
Right.
You know, the Greek diaspora, the Roman diaspora, the Babylonian Empire, the Persian and the Medes, and all those different nations had a different look to them, a different texture of hair. You know, and Israel was mixed among all those nations.
And the spirit that they had now in soccer, you know, that's the big thing now, right? World Cup and all that stuff. Now Italy, which pretty much and if you watch these motherfuckers, they look like a bunch of fucking niggas, man. You know. This dude, I'm working for this little. I'm working with this pint-sized Vin Diesel. This motherfucker's a fucking nigga. Now I met his father before. His father is cool as fuck, man. You know, he's in the garden, hunting, all that shit. You know, he's cool. He out there, you know, he speak that Spanish. But that hardcore Italian accent. Right. He showed me a picture of his father on the soccer team in Italy from back in the 60s. They look like a bunch of fucking niggas, man. It looked like a nick. It didn't look like no fucking cracker. A picture of a bunch of. It looked like a bunch of. Not even. His father had a straight up afro. Woolly, probably more woolly than my head. And he had like a little beard and shit too.
Yeah, man.
You know. And like I said, the Italian team, they got this guy on there called Super Mario. They call him Super Mario. Mario Bartali. All right, and he's lighting their asses up. He's bad as fuck. Right, now he's from. Technically, I think he was adopted by them. But he goes back to Ghana, but just to show you, and if you look at him, the way this dude play, you know that he's an Israelite, man. But he's not an American Negro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not
what you're used to seeing.
What you're used to seeing. He's bugged out. He got a goddamn blind.
But you know what? These guys that talk all that shit, man. Whatever city they live in, they probably never left that city from the time they were born.
Right.
They never traveled. They never been anywhere. You know, they probably listen to one genre, maybe two genres of music. You know, they haven't been nowhere. They haven't, you know, they never ate any other type of food. You know, they probably just ate soul food and Chinese.
Right.
And maybe some pizza. You know, I ate Italian food. I ate a pizza one. I had some spaghetti and meatballs.
Well, some of these niggas just ate hot dogs all their life, man.
You know, so you guys have no culture.
Talk like they so deep.
How the fuck you gonna talk about something you know nothing about it? All right, brother. That was it on that. Go to Ezra 9:1 and 2. You know, try to get because these some good some good scriptures in here that kill this whole Israelite. You know, all Israel's gonna look like straight up black people.
Right.
Go ahead. Nehemiah 9:1 and 2.
Oh, Nehemiah or Ezra?
I'm sorry, Ezra. No, my bad.
Ezra, okay.
So brother.
No, that's okay. We working.
Yeah.
Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. It says, "Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons."
Right, so they were popping those women and having children with them, okay?
"So that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands."
Right, so now when it says the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of the land, it wasn't talking about the sperm. It was just talking about Israel being a holy people was among those nations and following their customs.
Right, and their gods.
That's how you know how to, right, that's how you got to learn how to discern. Now, the part up top of it, they was popping the women. And they was giving their daughters to their sons and taking their daughters unto their sons. But then when it says the holy seed mingled themselves, meaning that they were among those nations and doing the customs of those nations. Go ahead.
Right. It says, the hand of the princes and the rulers have been chief in this trespass.
Right, so now go from there to Nehemiah. Now we're going to Nehemiah, the 13th chapter. And the 23rd and 24th verse.
Okay, Nehemiah chapter 13 verse 23. "In those days also saw I Jews,
go ahead,
that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab."
Right, they were marrying these women. You know, different of these different nations. They married them. They actually had the ceremony and all of that. Go ahead.
"And their children,"
and their children, meaning the ones that they had children with, go ahead,
"spake half in the speech of Ashdod."
Go ahead, they spake half of them in the speech of Ashdod, go ahead,
"and could not speak in the Jews' language."
And could not speak in the Jews' language. So basically what they were doing, not only were they laying with these women, but they were teaching them the customs of these nations and the language of these nations. Go ahead.
It says, "but according to the language of each people."
Right, but according to the language of each people. So they were leaving the custom. That's why the Most High didn't want Israel to marry those nations.
Right.
Because they would teach them their custom. But you could have concubines. There's plenty of scriptures to show you that.
Right.
But you're not supposed to marry them because then you would have to make a covenant with their fathers.
That's right.
And you making a covenant with their father, you want to look good in their father's sight, so you're going to have to do certain customs of those nations to please their father and their mother and whatever. So now, you have something, brother?
Yeah, and if it was wrong, then the Lord would have destroyed King David.
Right.
King David would have never been King David. He would have never been a man after the Lord's heart. Because King David had...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. He had plenty of concubines.
That's right.
Well, he was dealing with them women from the other nation. It wasn't just Solomon.
That's
all right. But now, where in the scriptures did it say that King David sinned by dealing with them strange women?
Right.
So because
King David didn't, his heart didn't deceive him to go and follow the customs of those other nations.
He didn't start building.
Because he just basically was having sex with those women.
That's right.
He wasn't married to them like Solomon did. He clave to those women in love and followed after them.
Right, following after their gods, started building temples of worship, which that's breaking the commandments of the Most High. That's setting up other gods before him and stuff. So that was the sin. That's why you're not supposed to get with these other nations and marry them. Right. But as far as having sex with them, there's nothing wrong with you having sex with a woman of another nation and keeping her as a concubine.
That's it.
All right, and there's no scripture that says, well, that's only going to take place in the kingdom or There's no scripture that says, you know.
Because when you go back to the law, in the law it says when you come against a city, you give them your peace. If they don't show you no peace, you destroy them, destroy the women that lay with other men, destroy their children, and you save the women alive that didn't have sex with men. And what you think you're going to do with those women?
Right.
Because if it was about just putting them in slavery, then you could just take the other women and put them in slavery.